This video is going to discuss the basics of properly formatted URLs. At the end of this video, you will have learned what a URL is, what a properly formatted URL looks like, and how to spot possible unsafe URLs. What is a URL? URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Basically, it's a web address of an online resource. And every website you visit has a URL. What does a properly formatted URL look like? Let's take a look. Here is the anatomy of a URL. There are three basic parts to a URL: the protocol, domain name, and path. The most common protocol is HTTP or HTTPS. The S stands for secure. This is important when visiting sites where you have to enter sensitive information like passwords. The domain is a unique reference that identifies a website on the internet. They most commonly end in .com. The path typically refers to a file or directory on the web server. When you're searching the internet, one thing you want to look for is the image of a lock, and it says secure next to the web address at the top. Let's say I need to Google current events for a school project. As I scroll down the list of choices, I notice they all start with HTTPS and the domain ends with .com or .org. Websites that end with .gov or .edu are also good websites. However, what if I needed to find a collaboration page for my students? I have heard of one called Scrumbler, so I type it into Google. Uh-oh. I notice it doesn't have a protocol, and the domain doesn't end with .com or the other common ones. I'm thinking this might not be a secure or safe link. Let's look at two different web pages. How can you tell which one is fake? For starters, the one on the right doesn't start with HTTPS. There is also no lock. If we look more closely, there are differences in the fonts and logo. And down at the bottom, account is misspelled. So which one do you think is fake? If you guessed the one on the right, you are correct. The web page on the right is set up to steal your information. Remember, you should only click on links to websites you know and trust. If you aren't sure, ask a trusted adult first. Stop and think before you click.